Hello there. The number of asylum seekers being given refugee status in the UK has tripled to the largest number since records began. Had this come out prior to the general election, there would not be one single Tory MP left in Westminster, because it happened under their watch and can only get worse under Labour. The latest Home Office official figures show that the number of asylum seekers who've had their claim accepted has reached the highest level since records began 40 years ago. 67,978 claims were accepted in the 12 months to June this year, all under the Tory government. And that is more than 3 times the number granted for the preceding 12 months. Worse, before the pandemic, the acceptance rate for asylum seekers was about a third. But last year it was nearly 60%. And that was only down on the 71% acceptance rate of the previous year because the Conservative government tightened the rules a bit. Otherwise, the numbers would have been significantly higher. All in the rush to speed up the process and clear the backlogs. And get this, a third of those accepted came across on a rubber boat. So you have to wonder how many illegal economic migrants slipped through the refugee net and were given refugee status. Further, the number of migrants... This is different, but further, the number of migrants being granted UK citizenship has hit a 50-year high at 246,488, up 37% on the previous year. The woke lefties will be so pleased and extremely eager for Keir Starmer's Labour government to double down and increase on those figures. I mean, they won't want the nasty Tories to be beating the left on granting asylum and handing out UK citizenship, will they? All those Labour MPs, as well as all the new independent ones, all depending on the vote of a certain demographic, will be expecting Keir Starmer to excel and apply some more elbow grease to stamping those asylum and UK citizenship acceptance forms. Yes, all the gold medals for that must go to Labour. And judging by the way Yvette Cooper and Keir Starmer are approaching these problems, I think we can only expect the worst. After all, Cooper was talking even before the election about fast-tracking faster than the Tories were fast-tracking. So the next couple of years should prove to be a bumper season for the people traffickers. And that also means it'll be a bumper year for all the NGOs, quangos, hotels, lawyers and government contractors that are able to feed off of all of this movement of people business. And all we're bombarded with is, we must have more diversity this and more inclusion that. Where do all these people live? And where are all the new ones that are going to live? No wonder Keir Starmer wants to concrete over vast swathes of the country to build houses. And then people go on about our carbon footprint and that we must do more to save the planet. So it's the UK's job, it seems, to single-handedly save all the people and the planet. Is that the plan? Right now, the invisible Tories that make up a now invisible opposition with an invisible leader are engaged in a leadership contest to see who will take over from Rishi Sunak. With this revelation, they may as well shut up shop and donate what's left of their party funds to the political party that most resembles their current woke lefty views, the Labour Party. Or maybe the Lib Dems with a bit going to the Greens. The true depth of the lefty takeover of the Tories has been laid bare. No wonder they couldn't fight the corner for Brexit, and no wonder they couldn't even get the Human Rights Act amended to make it more fit for purpose. The Tories are definitely now finished. I don't care who wins their leadership contest, because it will be appointing a new captain well after the Titanic hit the iceberg. And all they'll be doing is making the salute as the wreck disappears below the waves. And good riddance. So what do you think about this news? And it only came out, well, after lunch today. Oh, this one's nice. Loving the tie, Jeff. Yeah. After I read yesterday that people were on social media were frightened of showing their tie or showing the flag, I said I'd go and buy a tie with the Union flag on it so that I could wear it on a video. And I ordered this one from Amazon yesterday and it arrived this morning, which was very nice. So it's actually quite a high quality one, made of silk, I think. But there you go. Very nice. I love it. Jeffy's definitely pushing the envelope with the tie. He could be locked up for a long time. Well, yes. But it's actually quite funny. This is actually quite telling. I watched a Twitter video this morning about the police going back a few months where the police were telling the people flying the Union flag or the English flag to take it away because it might upset people. And it suddenly occurred to me that that police officer was wearing a police helmet, and on it was the crown, you know, the badge they wear with the crown. That is a symbol of the power of the UK state over its people. The power, the authority that he has, the UK authority he has, that represents the flag that he was telling them to get rid of. So if anyone any police officer ever tells you to put your flag away, tell them to take that badge away, because it's actually the same thing in reality. Yes. Why did you vote for Starmer? It's crazy. You voted him in. What can you do? He won. He won with, 20-something% of the actual vote. Very low, but because no one on the opposing side was turning out for anything else, because most of the Tories and a lot of other people who didn't just lost all touch with politics and don't believe in it anymore, just stayed at home. And I'm afraid to say, I've said it before, staying at home and not voting is actually an active choice. So it's arguable that he won, but only with a low vote, and he has to remember that, because if he's only governing for the 20%, then he's got a shock coming from the 80%, hasn't he? Yes. It's hitting the fan. Quick, order a bigger fan. I think we're going to need a much bigger fan. Yeah, but I'd like to put it in reverse so it goes back at those who threw it. Yes. Rosemary, can I have some inclusion? Only I feel invisible and forgotten. Yes, I think most of us these days are. If you're not one of the squeaky wheels, the little squeaky cogs in the system, you're not going to get any of the oil. The silent majority has to become vocal. We really have to stand up and shout at the politicians and tell them to listen. If enough of the silent majority did that, they would be forced to listen. But the silent majority stays silent. So people like Keir Starmer go, well, if they're silent, that means they agree with me. That means I can do whatever I like. And that's how the system works. Oh yeah, and I would just point out that you're not invisible and forgotten on this channel. I do try to sort of follow the trend, as it were. Although you know how I think, and most people who think like me will come and listen. So I'll do as much listening as I can, because sometimes I do tweak my ideas as other newer ideas come in. So what's this one? Asylum seekers pull the other one. Yeah, as I hinted at, I think a lot of, because they're doing this at speed, a lot of people are probably getting through who maybe shouldn't be getting through. And I'm wondering how many of those with dodgy records are getting through as well, because they haven't got the time to do any checks. In fact, in some cases, they can't do any checks because they don't know where they came from in the first place. And that's what's worrying me. Are they even rubber stamping those types through as well? Hey Jeff, nice tie. Where's the paperclip? The paperclip is on my other jacket, and I just leave it on that one for the main talking head videos. I've actually got more of those, and when I'm out and about, I do carry half a dozen of those large paperclips with me. So if I'm out and about and you see me, just ask, and you can have a paperclip, and they're all different colours. So so there you go. There's the offer. See me. Come and ask, and I'll give you a paperclip if I've got any left. Oh, thank you to iDoppler for your contribution. Thanks very much. Much appreciated. And yeah, and I will keep up as much I can as of the work I do, and I'll just try and make it as good as I can. Sometimes I do get things wrong. Shock, horror. But we all do. Greetings from the Netherlands. Greetings indeed. Great to hear someone from the Netherlands. I'm glad we've got a bit of a wider reach. And we do keep an eye on the Netherlands. And I've covered it before with the tractor protests, which actually the agricultural side does seem to be a bit quiet at the moment. Maybe they got most of what they wanted. But I do wonder how long that will last. Oh. Yes. It is naught to do with that. When people turn their backs on God the Father, things go a bit off. And he also goes off on one. Yeah, he has been known to go off on one, hasn't he? The flood sort of springs to mind. Now, if you turn your back on the whole basic rock of civilization, then I'm afraid to say things are going to go a bit wrong, as we're seeing right now. It's far too late, we're screwed. I'm not so sure about that one. I think we've still got a way to go. We can still get this back. We can still save the situation. It's going to take a lot of hard work. But the whole point is that true democracy and true freedom costs a lot of blood, sweat and tears, shall I put it. And that's the only thing we can put into this. We've got to work hard at keeping our rights and our freedoms. They're being taken away from us by an overbearing government and an overbearing set of wokesters, and we really do have to shut them people down politically. Oh, thank you to Edward Goldentusk for your contribution. Thank you very much. And I'm not slacking. The people who come here don't realise the people bringing them over are just after their kids. Well, yeah, it could well be, but it's their money as well. There's a lot of money to be made in this business. As I said in the video, in the monologue beforehand, it's not just the people smugglers outside who are taking the cash. It's the system here in the UK. There are whole swathes of government contractors whose job it is to spend your money, taxpayers' money, our money, on these people. And they take a profit in doing it, a very, very healthy profit for doing it. It is in their interests that this continues. Any contractor or hotel owner who is involved in this wants it to continue and will do all they can to keep reaping the profits from it. They care not what it does to our culture or anything else. Just bring them in, the more the merrier as far as they're concerned. I wear mine with pride every day. What is that you wear with pride every day? I hope it's something sort of British. Another one says here, I love the tie. There's a lot of comments here that are actually talking about, I can't do them all, sort of like this one from Red Scout, seek Christ Jesus, pick up a King James Bible. There's a lot of people now beginning to think this way, and it's good to see. It's a sort of, there is a bit of a religious revival going on. A lot of people out there who have never sort of really looked at religion or just disregard it, you should just be aware that there is a big religious revival going on out there. We loved your farmers' protest. Yeah, I mean, that was a good way of getting the message across. I mean, I know they went over the top in some places like France. Do you remember the videos of the manure spreader going down a street of politicians' houses? Yeah, that was yeah. Perhaps there should be a policy of only allowing, say, 60 to 80% women to immigrate. Immigration and asylum seeking are two separate issues, which the newspapers and especially the woke people love to conflate. What they like to do is make everybody into a poor little asylum seeker that must be given refugee status here so that everyone can come and be safe. As far as they're concerned, the entire world is absolutely awful. Absolutely awful. So that if anyone wants to leave any of those countries, they must come here to be safe. And then, straight away, they call us the most racist country on earth, don't they? I wish they'd make their minds up. Yeah. Right. With all these Christian comments coming through more and more, actually, I will say, Richard, who has done some Christian stuff on the channel, he's going to be doing something on Sunday. So if you're interested in that, let us know, and he'll be going public on Sunday. We are praying for you, love from Southern Ireland. Well, thank you very much, and we're also praying for you in the Republic of Ireland. It's I think we're all being treated the same way by an overbearing set of governments, all singing from the same, and I won't say hymn sheet because that gives them some credibility. It's I don't know what the word for a Satan sheet is, but that seems to be where they're singing from. So yeah. Kim Jong-Starmer. Yes, Stalin or wherever else. There's so many of them coming out now. It's becoming a very definite thing. This whole Stalin thing about Starmer really is. He's not going to be able to live this one down. And I've had a few emails through, I say a few, where people are now saying they're looking on at us in absolute horror from outside this country. They're looking on with absolute horror of what we're allowing them to do to us, of what we're doing to ourselves in this country. If this was happening anywhere else, we'd say, well, that's expected, of that A, B or C country. But the UK, it's happening here? Yes. I'm from America. The UK law can F off with their hate on free speech. Yes, yeah, we really are being turned into a sort of a highly monitored, controlled speech setup, aren't we? And it's good to see that at least we've got people like Elon Musk on X on our side. And a lot of people over there are saying, oh, it's horrible, it's turned into a right-wing cesspit and all that sort of stuff. If you actually go onto Twitter and look at it without filters or anything, you'll see that there is some really horrific stuff from the left and from the pro-Palestine mob on there as well. That is, I would say, is the worst I've ever seen. The worst propaganda, the worst misuse of pictures of very sick children. and they're misusing the whole lot. If there's misinformation going, it's there. Watching from sunny Florida. I wish I was. Long time since I've been there. Must be more than 25 years ago, I think. Yeah, so oh yeah. Yeah, Starmer broke his own rules, so how come he's not in jail? Yeah, I did a thing on that this morning. That was what I did my talking head video on this morning. Basically, it looks like he could be in the frame for spreading misinformation himself. You know, he was on about the far right organising this and doing that and all the rest of it. And the other thing he keeps that the establishment keeps claiming is that the EDL is at the bottom of everything wrong. The EDL doesn't exist. And as I keep saying, when Michael Gove gave his extremism speech in Parliament in April, he didn't mention the EDL, and he was reading from a speech that had all the latest intelligence on the far right and the radicalised religions on it. He didn't mention the EDL. So, as far as I'm concerned, it doesn't exist. It's being conflated. It is a mythical monster that these despots create in order to start draconian systems of law. That's how it starts. Should never have given up those gun rights, and you'll never get them back. Yeah. We've had this conversation before about, the choice between the US system of gun control and how they do it in Switzerland, where they don't have people going around visiting schools with their guns. It just doesn't happen in Switzerland. We could do something like that here, but looking at the demographic change, I'm not so sure it would be a good idea right now, given the way that sharp objects seem to be all the rage at the moment. Can you imagine what would happen if firearms became more freely available? Yeah. Stalin did a lot of bad things, but he was no Keir Starmer. At least Stalin loved his mum. Well, I got to say that Keir Starmer loves his dad. Do you know what his dad did? You know he was a tool maker, don't you? As if we all don't know that by now. In fact, I think he owned a tool-making firm, really. Yeah, there you go. Anyway, I think I've... Sorry? Yes, his gravestone will say, "Here lies the son of a toolmaker," yeah. Anyway, I think I've whittled on enough about this. This was more about the state of just handing out citizenship and asylum, refugee status. So everybody's going to be staying here, and Labour's going to be worse because they always are. But there you go. Anyway, I might be back a bit later on, maybe this evening, with something else, if there's anything interesting out there that I think you'll be interested in. So until then, have a good day.